Welcome to Every Coach Needs a Coach, the podcast for coaches of all sports and all age groups to learn from coaches and people they may otherwise never have the chance to meet. Today is our final day on behavior, and I want to share a story with you guys about Muhammad Ali. And I got this off of a little NPR clip where he kind of told his story about becoming the greatest. It goes like this. I've always believed in myself, even as a young child growing up in Louisville, Kentucky. My parents instilled a sense of pride and confidence in me and taught me and my brother that we could be the best at anything. I must have believed them because I remember being the neighborhood marble champion and challenging my neighborhood buddies to see who could jump the tallest hedges or run a foot race the length of the block. Of course, I knew when I made the challenge that I would win. I never even thought of losing. In high school, I boasted weekly, if not daily, that one day I was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. As part of my boxing training, I would run down 4th Street in downtown Louisville, darting in and out of local shops, taking just enough time to tell them that I was training for the Olympics and I was going to win a gold medal. And when I came back home, I was going to turn pro and become the world heavyweight champion in boxing. I never thought of the possibility of failing, only of the fame and glory I was going to get when I won. I could see it. I could almost feel it. When I proclaimed that I was the greatest of all time, I believed in myself, and I still do. The message that I want to take away from this is the feeling of act as if, behave as if. That's the way a champion behaves. That's the way the greatest in the world behaves. This is coming from a man who was also quoted as saying, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. He hated every minute of training, but he trained, right? We have to behave in such a way to get the results that we want. We can't wait for the results and then behave in the way that that type of person would behave, right? The way that type of coach would behave, that way that type of player will behave. You have to act like a champion before you won a championship, right? You have to behave and train like the best in the world to become the best in the world. You have to surround yourself with people who are better than you, who can help you get to that point. And you have to believe in yourself. So I think that's a really important story for ourselves, a really important story for our athletes to hear and understand that we need to behave in certain ways if we want to get certain results. Something that I'm going to address with my team in the coming days and weeks is we're going to look at what our goals are for the season, right? And whatever they're going to be, right? I like to use the example of teams that enter the national tournament for basketball, right? Every team that's in the national tournament wants to win the national tournament, right? Kentucky wants to win it as much as Duke. The difference comes in the preparation and the behavior of the athletes, right? What's going to differentiate them, right? Because it's clearly not the goal. If it was the goal, then everyone would achieve it. It's the systems that are in place. It's the behaviors that they do daily that are going to make them get closer to their goal, give them the best chance at reaching their goal. And that's something I'm going to do, sit down with my team and say, what's our goal? Okay. Whatever it's going to be. The kids will really decide it. Okay. What do we think our opponent's goals are going to be? Right? Would they be similar to ours if our goals are to play the best we can every game, right? If our goals are X amount of shutouts, if our goals are X amount of goals to have, right? X amount of wins, X amount of losses, whatever they're going to be. I bet you all of our opponents want to win the conference. I bet you all of our opponents want to beat us, right? I bet you all of our opponents want a lot of what we want. My challenge to my players is going to be, how are we going to behave? How are we going to do things here that's going to separate us from all the other teams? So we're going to act as if we have accomplished those goals already. Because if we act as if we've already accomplished them, we're that much closer to getting to them in actuality. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Keep getting better every day.